Every day, the future gets smarter. And this week, it got smart in two ways that should be flat out impossible. Google built an AI you can just talk to edit a video, no timeline, no keyframes, just words, and it is wild. Watch this. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what it can do and where it falls apart. Then I'll show you the other thing, an AI that just solved a math problem humans couldn't crack for 80 years. And of course, I'll show you how to use the fun one yourself, even for free. This is June 1st, 2026, and you're watching The Truth. Let's jump right in. First up, Google. On May 19th at Google I/O, their biggest event of the year where they fired off around 100 announcements. CEO Sundar Pichai and DeepMind's Demis Hassabis unveiled Gemini Omni, one single model that generates and edits text, images, audio, and video, all from the same brain. Here's Google's own announcement, and read the framing carefully. The big deal isn't making a video from a prompt. Plenty of models do that now. It's that you can take a clip you already have and just tell it what to change. Make it golden hour, swap the character, add rain, and it holds the entire scene together while it does it. And here's the holy grail: character consistency. Google ran the same violinist through 3 completely different shots, and her face, her hair, her posture, even the way she grips the bow stay locked across all of them. That is the exact thing every other model still gets embarrassingly wrong. But the real magic is editing footage you already have. Watch them just type, make it night, push in closer, add a reflection, and the same shot quietly rebuilds itself, frame by frame, without ever breaking the scene. It's Photoshop, but for moving video, and you drive it with plain sentences. The room kind of lost it. And honestly fair, in about 12 months, we've gone from AI can make a short, glitchy clip to AI is basically a film crew you talk to. Let that sink in for a second. Within hours, feeds were flooded with Omni clips, talking avatars, liquid metal mirrors, full dream sequences, most of them made in seconds from a single line of text. The barrier to making video didn't just get lower, it basically disappeared overnight. Underneath all of it is a brand new default brain, Gemini 3.5 Flash, which Google claims runs about 4 times faster than rival frontier models. And it's not some side project. It's now the engine behind both the Gemini app and Google Search itself, the biggest search overhaul in years. But here's the catch. I promised you, right now, Omni Flash caps every clip at just 10 seconds. And Google deliberately held back its scariest feature, editing the actual speech inside a video, saying they won't ship it until they can do it responsibly. Remember that word? Responsibly. And every clip it makes carries an invisible synth ID watermark, so it can always be flagged as AI. Hold that thought, because by the end of this video, you're going to see why that one little detail matters way more than it sounds right now. Now, why did Google push this hard, this fast? Because the old king is gone. OpenAI killed Sora. The app that kicked off the entire AI video craze is shut down, pulled offline completely. And the numbers behind that decision, genuinely brutal. Reports say Sora was burning around $15 million a day in compute, against just over $2 million in total all-time revenue. Read that again? That's not a business model. That's a bonfire with a logo on it. So who's actually eating Sora's lunch? 4 names you need to know: Google's Veo 3.1, Kuaishou's Kling 3, Runway's Gen 4.5, and ByteDance's Seedens 2. The race didn't end when Sora died, it just changed leaders. Take Kling 3 out of China. It's generating native 4K at 60 frames a second, with lip sync clean enough for 2 characters to hold a conversation on screen. 1 year ago, that quality was simply not on the table. Now it's a Tuesday. And it is getting genuinely impossible to tell what's real. In Runway's own study, more than 90% of viewers could not tell its Gen 4.5 clips apart from actual camera footage. 90%, your own eyes are no longer a reliable witness. Put Google's new model right next to the thing it replaced, and the gap is almost rude. Talk to edit, perfectly synced audio live today, completely free, versus a product that, as of this month, simply does not exist anymore. Okay, the part you actually came for. How do you use this? Omni Flash is already live, for free, inside the Gemini app, inside Google's Flow Creator tool, and even baked into YouTube Shorts. You type, or you literally talk to it, and it renders. The link is in the description. So that's the creative leap. Arguably the most powerful video model on Earth sitting in your pocket right now for nothing. And it would headline almost any other week. But honestly, it is not even the most impressive thing that happened in the last 7 days. Because while Google was busy teaching an AI to make art, OpenAI quietly pointed one of its models at something no human being had managed to solve in 80 years. On May 20th, OpenAI announced that one of its internal reasoning models did something these systems were not supposed to be capable of. It didn't summarize math, it didn't look up an answer, it produced an original proof that overturns a famous decades-old open problem. To get why that's such a big deal, meet Paul Erdos. Back in 1946, this legendary, famously eccentric mathematician, a man who published around 1,500 papers in his lifetime, asked a deceptively simple question. Take a bunch of points on a flat plane. How many pairs can sit exactly 1 unit apart? Picture it like this. Dots scattered on a page. Now draw a line between every two dots that are exactly 1 unit apart. As you add more and more dots, how fast can that web of connections possibly grow? It sounds trivial. It is one of the hardest questions in the entire field. Here's OpenAI's write-up. For almost 80 years, mathematicians believed the answer grew slowly, that a simple square grid was basically the best arrangement you could ever do. Erdos himself couldn't prove it, and for 8 decades, nobody who came after him could either. Then OpenAI's model did this. It constructed an entirely new infinite family of point arrangements that beats that old limit, pushing the count up to n to the power of 1.014. The exponent looks tiny. The implication is enormous. The assumption everyone trusted for 80 years was simply wrong. Princeton mathematician Will Solon then sharpened the result to that exact exponent. And sit with the timeline for a second. In a field where real progress is measured in decades, an AI moved the needle in a single afternoon. And before you say the AI just hallucinated the whole thing, no, the proof was checked by hand by human mathematicians who wrote a companion paper laying out exactly why it holds up. It's public, on Archive, right now with some of the biggest names in the field attached to it. One of them is Tim Gowers, a Fields Medalist, which is basically the Nobel Prize of mathematics. He called this a milestone in AI mathematics. When someone operating at that level sits up and pays attention, you probably should too. And the entire math world felt it. This is the kind of result that gets argued about at every conference for a year. Because if a model can genuinely do this, the question quietly shifts. It stops being, can AI do math, and becomes what's actually left that's only ours. And it is not just pure math. At that same Google I/O, DeepMind opened up its AI co-scientist, a system that proposes genuine, testable research hypotheses. One Stanford geneticist described using it as consulting the oracle of Delphi. That's a working scientist talking, not a marketing team. And it's already paying off in the real world. The same family of models is screening drug candidates, mapping protein structures, surfacing connections no human ever spotted, collapsing work that used to eat up years of lab time into a matter of days. There's also AlphaEvolve, a system that invents and optimizes its own algorithms. Put all of it together and a pattern snaps into focus, AI is starting to genuinely discover things, not just remix and repeat what we already wrote down for it. But here's exactly where the name of this channel earns its keep, because that exact same ability, the one that disproves an 80-year-old theorem or designs a life-saving drug, can be turned around and pointed somewhere much, much darker. Here's how that plays out in practice. When you order synthetic DNA, the supplier screens your order against a list of known dangerous sequences. That's the safety net. The new research shows AI can now quietly redesign a threat so it sails straight past that screen, undetected. On May 13th, the journal Nature published a stark warning signed by more than 20 scientists. Today's AI tools can help design novel viruses and toxins, including variants specifically engineered to evade the exact screening that's supposed to catch them. The same models that cure, now able to harm. Same intelligence, wildly different outcome. Those scientists are now calling for a government panel and hard limits on what these models will answer in the life sciences. Because once a recipe like that exists out in the open, you can't unpublish it. You can't take it back. Now remember that invisible watermark on Google's videos? This is why it matters. When an AI can both create and discover at this level, being able to prove what's real and trace where it came from stops being a nice to have. It becomes the whole game. So sit with this for 1 second. In a single week, AI learned to create like an artist and to discover like a scientist. The exact same power pointed in two completely different directions. So that's the truth this week. An AI you can talk to that edits video right in your pocket, and an AI that just outreasoned 80 years of human mathematics built on the very same power that could one day design a pandemic. So I have to ask, which one impressed you more and which one scares you more? Tell me down in the comments. So smash that like button. If you want the truth about AI before everyone else does, hit subscribe so the algorithm stops burying us and grab the free newsletter linked in the description. Every day, the future gets smarter. So make sure you're getting smarter too. This has been The Truth. I'll see you in the next one.